Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an All You Can Geek bonus round, Spoilercast for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinstein.
Welcome to the freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. Only I didn't want to say freaking.
Good one, good quote. And Tony Korkanakis.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Oh, guys,
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that Twitter where he was with Mary Poppins? Yeah. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yondu. Man, so Guardians of the Galaxy 2, guys, we all saw it. I think we're all positive on it, right? Are we all positive?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I mentioned it in one of our movie casts, or maybe it was off air, but the more I think about the movie, the more I liked it.
It was fun. It was a very fun movie. Not as strong as the first one, in my opinion, but it did have stronger characters and then characters that were way in the background.
Hold on, one last warning. If you haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2, do not listen to this spoiler cast.
This is a spoiler cast, so yeah, if you haven't, don't listen. Unless you don't care about spoilers, then you can listen all you want to hear our impressions of it. We did give our impressions in a previous movie cast, so look that one up. It probably got Guardians on the cover of it. So,
awesome.
Here we go. So yeah, spoiler cast, guys. Let's just kick it off with we're not going to go, step by step through this movie, but we do need to talk about this intro because it was exactly what Corey feared was going to happen with Baby Groot, and we have to talk about this. So
it also kind of sums up my biggest issue with the movie in general, but
okay, so yeah.
Well, let me hear it. I know Tony and Jim, we've talked a little bit about it. Mike, I haven't really heard what your impressions were.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there when I talked about this the most. I liked the movie. I thought it was fun, very funny. Drax is my favorite character.
See, I felt like he was really underused. We'll get to that, but go on.
Well, maybe, but there's a huge disconnect for me between they're going for the feels in a lot of scenes in this movie, but then anytime there's a big action set piece, it's played for laughs. It's like slapstick cartoon, and it's funny, but it's to the point where it's like there's no stakes in any of the action, and actually all the feels things weren't in the action. And, like, the action didn't result in anything like serious happening.
What was your problem then with the opening sequence? Because if that's what we're talking about,
because you know that no one's gonna get hurt.
Oh no, that was not the reasoning behind the opening sequence. The reasoning behind
it's just you look at and you see Baby Groot dancing around being cute while everyone's fighting. And the reoccurring line in the movie, why are you talking about that now? Or why are you saying that now? You're really arguing about this now? And it's sort of just the ongoing sort of thing that the action in the movie is just for fun. And it is what it is. Like, you got to take it for that, but
my line. It is what it is.
But, it's a funny movie, but
sure, it's a fun movie.
It creates a little bit of a disconnect when you're going for like huge gut punches later, I think. But
yeah, they were trying to be very dramatic with certain things. There was some big parts of the story with that, but the intro of Baby Groot dancing the entire time was, I think, plenty of Groot for me.
It was a little long too, a little longer than it needed to be.
Sure, no, that was it for me. I was actually annoyed with the cuteness of Baby Groot throughout the rest of the movie, and people loved it, but I was like, I felt like that was
for the most part, Baby Groot's a huge hit. The merchandising for Baby Groot.
That's why he was brought into this movie.
He was already there before. Yeah. There was Baby Groot merch before the second movie.
Yeah. He was in this movie for that.
Yeah, and so again, I've mentioned this before in prior podcasts, but I was afraid that Baby Groot would ruin this film because of the focus that they would have on him and the way that they would have to use him and the other Guardians have to react to him. So I was afraid of what they would do with that. And then this intro just kind of cemented that feeling for me, just because all I'm seeing is this stupid plant dancing when I kind of want to watch what's going on behind him. He's just in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I was trying to see
call back to the dance scene.
I was trying to see the out of focus shot. That's what I was trying to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of interested in that stuff because that was a lot of the trailers too. It was a lot of the trailers was this scene, but we just get this dancing CGI character in front of us, and so I was done with him at that point. But there were some scenes that I did appreciate and I did like with him. And I thought his best moment was with the Ravagers when they are making fun of him.
The bullying part,
and and mascot.
I kind of felt bad for him. I mean,
it felt bad.
I was kind of shocked by that. The Ravengers got that dark with everything, actually, but
yeah. Well, let's get there. I mean, I just want to chime in here. So I thought the intro was great because I love Baby Groot. I never was like, oh, I want less Baby Groot. I'm worried about Baby Groot. It was perfect. Just it's like, okay, I remember this is really literally where we left off. So here you go. And I feel like that allowed them to get a lot of it out of their system. Not to say he wasn't removed from the rest of the movie, but it was.
He really was not in the movie that much after that.
No.
I'm not saying he was bad in the movie when he was in it. I just said that was enough of it for him, like that part for him.
And I would agree with that. You know, the other parts were in the movie. I think he was fine. He didn't detract from the rest of the movie. It wasn't like
that's what I was worried. Yeah, exactly. He didn't ruin the film.
I did
he was definitely not over saturating the movie.
I could have used maybe 1 or 2 less trips getting the wrong thing in the jail, but that's just me.
I love that scene. I love that scene though because the first time you're just like, but then it's like.
It's so weird because like he understands everything before this, and now he can't understand what they're saying now. It's like so weird. It's like this disconnect there.
I did like the bring back of that old joke. Leave the eye. Leave the eye. He's gonna wake up and wonder where his eye is.
Do you have like a toe somewhere?
Yeah.
Let us never speak of this again.
The thing is, anytime Yondu was on screen, it was a good scene.
Yondu stole this.
He doesn't understand why you wear hats because everybody looks stupid in them.
Yondu stole this movie for me. He was fantastic.
Yeah, Yondu was amazing.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that coming in. In fact, I will even say that going into it, when you see Yondu on the promotional images and stuff like that, on the posters, I was all like, really?
That was a little bit of a problem. I feel like the promotion for this movie sort of spoiled some things because they always included him and Nebula with the other guys. I'm like, oh, I guess they're teaming up at some point. I guess they're going to be good guys. And that's like
I knew that Nebula was going to be a good guy.
That was a lot of the plot of this movie was those two characters sort of turning. But whatever.
No, it was.
It was never. I don't know, it was never a bad guy. I think he had his agenda, and he was always on Peter Quill's side at the end.
Only in the end of the last movie, he was pretty much a villain. Half of the last movie.
I didn't see him as like a straight up villain like Ronan was a villain. He was more of a kind of like a Han Solo type.
Shoots first.
Yeah, I saw him more as a
exactly.
Yeah, he's a scoundrel.
Yeah, scoundrel.
So continuing through the movie, then we can get through these characters. But we had like a great sequence now. Kurt Russell, 1980. Kurt Russell, 84. So was that CG or was that no?
Oh, he
90% of it was makeup.
Yeah,
he
said a lot of it was makeup, but obviously they did touch things up a little bit too.
Wow. So that
the fact that they make the aging things look so much better. That's it's amazing. Straight out of.
What I don't understand.
I actually think they said they used like Big Trouble in Little China as reference to make him young again.
They have to have because like. All these actors have been like famous when they were that age. Like you go back to Michael Douglas and Ant-Man and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I feel like they specifically choose actors where they have like film references that I honestly think they even might superimpose. I guess they say they don't, but they definitely have to use that a lot to get it to look this convincing because once again, I couldn't see anything.
They superimposed back in X-Men 3 when they did the Patrick Stewart ones.
I didn't notice anything with it. I couldn't even tell the differences they made. They just looked a little shiny to me.
They looked a little weird. No,
it looked like they had like a facial tightening thing on their face.
They had like a bad facelift. No, this was like the pinnacle of what they've been working with this de-aging stuff. Michael Douglas was the first step, which was amazing, and then this.
I think Michael Douglas was honestly better than Robert Downey Jr. That one, they did better with
too. But
I didn't like Robert Downey Jr.'s one, but
I think the problem with that one was it was like a simulation where they had real people right next to him. Then it wasn't as convincing. but at the same time, it looked like it was supposed to not necessarily be like him actually.
Yeah.
At that age. What I wanted to say about the scene though, with the the product placement. They made a big deal about that product placement. It shows up later too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like weird to see like this character, like you didn't really understand what was going on, and like why did this girl love him so much? I didn't really get any of that.
They really, unfortunately for me, with his character, I think they glossed over a lot.
I never believed the relationship with him and mom.
Well, so, you know, that's what they wanted you to do. Like they wanted you to, because that's the story. It never actually existed for him.
Well, no, they try. They say they tried to make it.
That's not true.
Try to do the exact opposite.
You're right. It's not true. You're right. I don't know.
It existed for him so much that he had to do something stupid, ridiculously drastic, so he wouldn't be tempted anymore.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit over the top, but he is crazy. He's ego. The planet.
I mean, a lot of his motivations needed, I think, a little more time to.
Well, that's where we get into the Marvel villain issue, where they just don't have a strong villain, and it's not like he wasn't a good character. It's just as a villain, I felt like he was not great.
I think he's been. He's one of
the better villains, I think. Yeah. But I needed a little bit more explanation about his motivations. I mean, I know he does do a bit of a monologue about his motivations, but they were his fake motivations at first that he talked about anyway. And then when he turns, it's just a couple sentences. It's like that's why.
Yeah, it seemed very drastic.
Decided all that.
But I did like his introduction, by the way, though, as when he's older character, him just surfing on top of the spaceship, essentially. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even though I'm jumping ahead a little bit, even though you still are a little wary of him, the whole playing catch scene. If you have a long lost dad and a son playing catch, it doesn't matter what context it is. Oh, catch, that's it.
Yeah,
it just happens. It's like Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that was funny. That's a fun part of the movie, and I don't know. We can get into more of the story here, but the characters themselves are what I like to talk about, and I thought his motivations were a little bit drastically changing. Didn't feel
I think they fit. I don't think they drastically changed at all. I think that they fit his character perfectly.
Just the way he was, huh? Maybe I just.
Do you have preconceived notions about it? Do you know this character already?
I don't.
Because I don't know anything about him.
I don't know him that well. I mean, he's a Fantastic Four character, I think. But as far as his motivations and what his name represents, I mean, spoiler, it's ego. He wants to be everything. His motivations, I don't think ever changed. Because his whole purpose was to find someone who he could use to be a battery to spread himself throughout the entire universe. Mm-hmm. He never really cared about any of his kids. He's just looking for that one that had the celestial power.
Now, yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he did. That's what his motivation was, to find that second person to create this, make him everywhere. But so we did have another. Would you call it antagonist of the movie? I don't know, the golden people. Yeah, they were the angry gamers. I liked those
Sovereign.
I thought they were pretty funny. The Sovereign, they're going to be more into the volume 3 apparently. So
and they got a post-credit scene too.
They did, because they're going to be more involved. Yeah, the huge one. But we had them introduced. We have Mantis showing up. Mantis was introduced into this movie finally. That's
Ego's assistant type person.
Pet.
Now, she's an actual Guardian or no?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So
apparently, the actual creator of the comic book character didn't like her portrayal in this movie.
I thought she was fine. I mean, I didn't have any problems with
She played well off of Drax, I guess.
No, that was some of my favorite parts. I mean, she was.
See, I feel like now we get to
cuter
Drax.
than Baby Groot.
I think Drax. They missed a lot of character development in this movie, because they introduced all these other new characters so we didn't get any development from characters, right? I mean, we got no development from Drax whatsoever. Did we?
Drax doesn't need to be developed. Drax is supposed to be one note. That's his deal. And I
definitely think they, as far as character moments, they didn't have one. They didn't have a Nebula Gamora scene for Drax. They didn't have that. I mean,
Well,
this was a
that's
movie
not
about.
true. He did sit there with Mantis a while talking about his family and stuff. That whole emotion stuff.
Yeah, that's nothing new though. I mean, that's what we saw in the first one. This whole
I would say
purpose
Gamora
for
didn't
this
get
movie.
development either. It was Nebula that got development.
I
Gamora didn't
couldn't.
change.
I couldn't stand Nebula in this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like this whole. She's trying to kill her. I wanted a sister. Come on. I just tuned out at that point. I'm like, all right, this is stupid. That's just me with that character. I don't like how the actress plays her either. I just find her too much.
Yeah, and we did have a lot of Rocket development, right? Do we have a lot of Rocket, sort of?
It's only in the end where he's like, oh, we're the same person.
No, he did that in the middle though too.
No,
I mean,
because
it's
the whole movie, he was just acting a dick, and Quill even called him out on it in the first
he stole
third.
that. The reason why the movie started was because he stole the batteries, just for no reason.
Right, exactly, for no reason.
So
Yeah.
he was.
I mean, I think as far as the core Guardians, it was obviously Quill's movie and about his father and everything. But as far as progression and story development, I think Rocket and Gamora, those had the most. I agree with you. Drax had no development or motivation in this film whatsoever. He had funny lines and everything, but he had no motivation.
He didn't have a moment, did he?
But I mean, here's the thing. I would say his moment was with Mantis.
Anyway. Yeah,
Like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with what Drax did in this movie. Like, not every character needs to totally change who they are.
No, but I'm saying even like a. Well, I guess he did have some fight moments, but I just didn't.
Right, because the thing with Drax is, compared to the other characters, Drax is kind of post his moment, I guess, because his whole family is dead.
His moment was last movie, yeah.
Right, his moment was last movie, and he that's it. He's just coming to terms with it, and I think the thing with Mantis showed that even though he's how he tries to portray himself, he's still very deeply hurt on the inside and sad.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that. I didn't feel like we needed to really have Drax grow, but I was entertained by the fact that we got to see an insight of that glimpse of, hey, there is more to Drax, and maybe in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 we can explore that more, but right now I'm okay with this. And I think, like Mike was saying, I don't need everybody to have a moment. I think it would feel really forced and cliched in a 2-hour movie if everybody's like, oh yeah, like, I learned, guys, I changed, I evolved. Or,
I mean, that's true.
Too, but they introduced a lot more characters here.
They did,
and
I
definitely think the focus was on Quill, Yondu, and Ego as far as story.
Yeah. I mean, what'd you guys think of Sylvester Stallone?
He's kind of funny, I guess.
I didn't really understand what was even going on with him early on.
Same here.
I'm like, who is he to him? Like, how am I supposed to know? Am I missing something?
I just saw this as like, this movie is really about fathers and sons, and like Yondu felt this guy was like a father figure to him.
Yep.
Who he looked up to, and
so
that's what I got out of it.
I missed that point of the movie, I guess, but yeah, I didn't understand why he was there to begin with. Like, I had no. I mean, not that he did a bad job. I just didn't know who he was. Like,
no, I didn't know who he was either. When we first see Yondu and he comes to like that robot strip club or whatever the hell it was.
Amsterdam of the universe, I guess.
I'm just like, wait, why? Who is he? I mean, you get some context a little bit, but I guess it almost seemed like that whole thing was for that, like, the rainbow colored thing at the end of the movie. But I also think we're going to see, obviously, that new team of them later, because you're not going to get Sylvester Stallone just for, like,
the
new team
here and there.
He's part of the original Guardians, that character, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Yondu was supposed to be part of the original.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why
he was in the comic.
Is he still not? We'll see. I don't know.
I don't see Yondu coming back.
I would like not to, because I think that the way that they did this story, I think
I don't know how he could come back from
that. It's a comics. It's everybody's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible, but they'd have to really stretch.
I mean, they really try to foreshadow the effects that has on people by throwing out anybody loyal to him when the Ravagers mutiny.
Well, that's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the cremation.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, it wasn't it wasn't Yondu was throwing people out. It was the other dude.
Yeah, they were getting
Taser.
No,
tossed out.
I know, and I'm saying like everyone that was loyal to him got thrown out the
Taserface.
airlock,
Yeah.
and then so they're
Taserface.
showing like, well, you go outside, you will die.
Yeah.
You know what? This movie ended a lot like Mass Effect Andromeda Begins.
Anyways, Taserface, the Ravengers. I liked them in the beginning. I thought they were the fun Ravengers that we knew from the first one, and then all of a sudden it got like fucking dark. Mutiny.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like they were killing them.
Taserface.
And then Taserface. That joke was that was fun.
Talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean, it's like the same type of deal with them.
Yeah.
Space pirates.
Yeah.
I have
So
I
we had
have one
some,
request though.
we had some great moments there with the
Taserface.
Ravengers. Yeah. The best you can do is Taserface.
Dude, that scene though with Yondu just wrecking shit, that was my favorite scene.
Like, that
of
was
the
his
movie.
moment. That was like before his moment in the second half of this movie. That was his moment. And I was like, holy shit! Like he's so fucking good. Like he's badass. But yeah, you're ready for him to just. They really set that up for him to come in and just wreck shit against those mutinous Ravengers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was awesome for him. Like that, Yondu in this movie was just awesome. Like, funny, serious, like badass. Yeah, I mean that was just great. So, and like we had that moment where like we had Baby Groot there getting bullied by the Ravengers and essentially, getting that whole funny sequence with him breaking them out of jail. But we had that moment with Yondu, and the music was great there for that moment. It was an awesome sequence. My favorite sequence.
The only thing
was that.
Yeah, same here. The only thing was like, what was the purpose of the fin? Like, it's a prototype.
Yeah.
But like, it did the exact same thing as the other one.
Yep, that's true.
It's kind of funny.
It's just bigger to look more like the comic book version of him. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, then we had the planet. Anything else to talk about? Really on that stuff? Like we had the whole like reveal that we talked about already with him actually trying to take over the universe.
I mean, the reveal part was really well done, I thought, and like you never get like a character just like you hear something and then all of a sudden he just like starts blowing him away, just like shooting him, like, oh shit, this is like that's how people react. Like that's how like you should react instead of being like, wait, what's going on? Like, is this true? I don't understand. Like, what's happening? Like, no, Quill just like starts firing away. So basically, Ego explains why he's there and like his purpose, and like that Brandy song was pretty like well implemented in the whole fact. It's like, my love is the sea, not my lady. Whole thing where my purpose is to spread myself and become everything. Like that's what I want, and you're gonna be here to help me, and that's why I had to kill your mom. And just bang, 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 bang. You killed my mom, just fuck you, and like that was great. That was great motivation. I could understand the turn there because he wasn't. Ego never really thought that was a question of like, how he just always assumed that he was going to be on his side. Like, this is what we do. This is as Celestials, we are everything, and as Ego, he wants to be everything, and he never really thought about human life as something that was needed to be held closely or anything. And he was close with the mom, and that's why he put the tumor in her brain, is because he didn't want to have that temptation.
Yeah, no, I like that.
But here's the problem I have with that. He's immortal. What does 80 years with her do to his plans? Which stalled forever anyway afterwards.
I think it was the fact that he was so like he started to care for her so much that he was willing to stop what he was doing, but he knew that that's what was more important to him, so he had to eliminate that temptation.
I don't know. I just think,
and to him, he doesn't see life as something like he just like that's a temptation. I need to get rid of it. Yeah, it's not like I'm thinking about time wise and stuff.
He has a pretty good have your cake and eat it too opportunity though, but I guess I don't know. I just
kind of weird. Like,
but, it makes sense. I agree. Like, if you or I objectively looking at it, we come to that same conclusion. But the thing is, he was viewing that from a different standpoint, and that she was completely just a distraction from his mission. And I mean, he even said like how vast the universe was. It would even take him like thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So, I mean, 80 years in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he would have been tempted to stay on Earth, And
not only that, but maybe he'd be tempted to find something else like that again, and then just completely dismantle his plans.
Right. So before it got out of habit, he's like, just tumor.
Yep. Boop. Nip it in the butt.
Film reboot.
And then this quote is going off, and he's like, "I wanted to be your dad," and him transforming to, oh my gosh, what?
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff, David Hasselhoff.
Which it
awesome.
was funny, but it was a weird place for a joke.
Nah,
set it up perfectly.
it's always
like,
this movie is about that though. There's always because there's a lot of serious moments in this movie.
But right after probably the most serious reveal, that happens, and I'm just like, this would be funnier if this wasn't right now. I
think
thought.
it fit well, like for
I think it was fine.
Like, of everything that was playing out.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
They want to keep the movie. It's a fun movie. They still want to keep it light, and that's what that does. I mean, it just immediately makes it light after.
No, I know that, but I mean, like the joke would have been funnier if maybe it wasn't quite like right then.
It could have been. I think
how else could they have fit that in?
But I think the joke was there for
later on when you're like.
It was there for a reason, Mike.
I mean, you hated when he turned into Pac-Man in the fight, so I don't understand where that would have been.
I did like the Pac-Man. I love that part. He's like, I'm gonna turn into Pac-Man, and he did it anyways. I don't know, and then
shit's gonna get weird.
We had the whole ending sequence there, the whole last fight, with everything coming together,
which was like very reminiscent of Man of Steel.
Yeah, but it was everything coming together there.
It became the Death Star.
The Sovereign. Everything showing up there. I mean, that was like. That was, I thought we were going to get the Nova Force showing up in that. I thought it would be cool to see that.
Yeah, no Nova at all.
Did you guys feel like they missed a cameo appearance issue, like with the Earth attack?
What? Whatever.
You mean like Iron Man or something?
Like a tie-in from any sub-hero, Falcon. I don't know, somebody.
I thought it would have been interesting if like Doctor Strange or Thor had witness it, but I don't know how it would have fit in the context of the movie. I'm okay with it. No.
But they were showing it spread across Earth. They could have showed somebody trying to stop it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Like just a quick as they're trying to stop it.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, at the same time, it was in
really
middle of nowhere, and it was just like in maybe a few hours.
Yeah, they're not going to respond to that in a few hours. Any of them?
Yeah. I was fine with it. It's like I guess it could have had it, but I didn't really think it needed to be there. Because then, you think
I don't know
okay.
if it would have been either. Nah.
Well, at the same time, I mean, you have to think this took place 6 months after Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which is, what did they say, 2014?
Yeah. So they're in Ultron County there.
Mm-hmm.
That was before Ultron.
Was it?
It was after Avengers 1.
Oh, okay.
Before.
No, I thought it was during the
Ultron was 2 years ago, so 2015.
Yeah, so they're on their way towards that, whatever was going on. So Tony Stark was busy trying to create Ultron. So what about the ending? Anything else you want to talk about there? The whole sequence, I think we're good. With story-wise, I liked it. Like you said, it was a big.
So you didn't like the moment with Gamora and Nebula, Mike? I thought that was an interesting moment. I liked it. The problem I have with it the most is that, again. I'm gonna kill Thanos. Where is he? Let's get to him already.
Can we? Yeah. As I said to Tony, there's a lot riding on Thanos now in this universe. There's a lot on Thanos right now. He's got to nail it.
At this point, when I hear Thanos, I'm just like, whatever.
See?
That's not.
I mean, and that's the problem I have too. It's there's a lot of talk. Let's.
It's finally time to see what this guy can do. Please.
But I think it's fine if they're building up and they execute it well, because literally, I mean, we all know what Thanos does in the comics and stuff, but moviegoers who aren't really fans, they have no idea. It's just been years and years and years of cock teasing. So.
When did Avengers come out?
Yeah, exactly. 2012 or whatever?
Yeah, 2012.
I mean, in my mind, I just want Thanos to show up on screen and just one-shot somebody. Like an Avenger. Just one-shot an Avenger. And that would get everybody's attention, be like, oh, shit. This guy
you mentioned in Slack, Jim, I think there's you with the Vision. Just warp in, rip it out of his head and just peace out. And just kill him right there.
Yep. Yeah. Because we know how powerful Vision is, and if he just shows up and takes him out like it's nothing.
Yeah, set the stage, man. So you gotta really need to
awesome.
Hit it out of the ballpark with Thanos.
So the last bit I'd like to talk about is the amazing cameo that has been set up by the Fox TV series X-Men coming to TV. There was a deal, obviously.
Hold on, really quick before you. We were talking about that. I didn't know we were moving past the end. So the one thing I do want to comment about the ending was, I really do like the character development we had from Cole in the very last bit, just because when Ego was about to die and practically begging him to, let him stop the bomb. And he's like trying to tempt him, like, if you destroy me, you'll only be human. And Cole just goes, well, what's wrong with that?
No.
Is that so bad or something like that?
And yeah. I thought that was good. You guys don't mind that plot device of giving somebody powers for just the movie?
I don't mind.
I kind of wish, like, they still could do it, that there's some sort of residual something.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to be, I think that's going to play into something later on.
Oh, absolutely. Because the thing is, Ego himself didn't know. He was just speculating because Cole's the first kid to have the spark, or whatever you want to call it, the celestial touch. So, he could have been wrong on that because, he had that fucking secret room of dead baby skeletons. So,
He was wrong about other things, yeah. So,
yeah. I absolutely think that's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But go on. So the ending sequence there, I think.
No, I just really liked it because, the whole movie and even most of the last movie, Cole was just talking about how much he wanted to meet his dad, but it really came full circle. And Corey, you touched upon it earlier, where, Ego was his father, but Yondu was more his dad. And the final scene with the warrior's funeral or whatever, really hit home that despite the genetics of DNA, Yondu was the one who really raised him and took care of him and set him upon that path.
Yeah, and that scene in space when he's Yondu saves Quill and he sacrifices himself, that for me hit home a lot, just for my situation as well as how I grew up and being a father now too. It definitely hit home.
Yeah,
right. Sacrificing everything you have for basically your kid and stuff like that. But
it's a pretty harsh ending for Quill personally, though. Like, when you really think everything that just happened to him there, it's just like, how is this guy even like just standing there, to be honest? Because first of all, he didn't really consider Yondu his father. He considered him almost a captor for his whole life, basically. So now he realizes he's been wrong this whole time and kind of giving this guy who's taking care of him, and he's like, you idiot. He's even like, you really think that's the reason why I kept you like this whole time?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh. And then, like, as soon as he realizes it, he gets taken away. The father he was searching for his whole life, he has a moment with, and then realizes he's done the worst thing to him possible.
Yeah, he's got to kill him.
Yeah, the worst thing that happened.
And then all of this happens, and it's just like, how is this guy going to be the same sort of wisecracking guy going forward? Like, I don't see, like...
It's just who he is, that's why. It's just his character.
I mean, it's rough. It's a rough, like, couple hours for him at the end of that.
He's had a rough life. I mean, his mom died. He got kidnapped by aliens. Thought he was going to get eaten if he didn't comply with them. I wouldn't say Cole's had an easy life at all.
I think actually where he ended, in my opinion, he's in a better place because he solved a lifelong mystery for himself. Like, he was looking for something, he didn't know what that was really. Like, it was just a father figure that he thought he wanted, and then it turns out that that's not what he wanted at all. And he realizes that father figure has been there all along, and he can remember those moments. And unfortunately, obviously, they both perish, but he kind of, I think, closed that chapter on his life where he can move forward now instead of always searching for that. And I think that kind of leaves him in a little better place than, just saying, oh man, now how am I going to survive this?
Right, because now he has, like, he could, not that he has right now, but he could come up with a different, goal in life or mission.
Well, obviously he's got that unspoken thing with Gamora.
Yeah, the unspoken thing.
You feel love.
That's the thing that had no progression.
Yeah, I guess I feel a general, sense of love. No, romantic, sexual love for her.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Yeah, it was good. And there's some great stuff in this movie. A lot of fun. So.
She just said your deepest, darkest secret in front of everyone.
Do me. So embarrassed.
Drax.
Drax makes the movie for me.
He's awesome.
So
we can talk about your thing.
Yeah, we had the Watchers show up in this movie, which were a Fantastic Four property.
They were?
Yes. So Marvel got the rights, the permission from Fox to use them in this movie. Not saying how the deal went down, but we did mention a while ago something happened for the X-Men TV show to be on. They did not say it's because of that, but they did say they worked out.
They did say that they traded the rights to change Negasonic Teenage Warhead's powers to get Ego, and but they didn't mention the Watchers because it was probably a spoiler. So I'm assuming that all that was in that whole deal.
It was cool to see the Watchers in this, and the great Stan Lee cameo with that I thought was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because that is in this movie because of a fan theory that James Gunn thought was hilarious.
What was the theory?
The fan theory was like that Stan Lee is a Watcher, and that all these scenes that he's in is he's viewing these Marvel characters. And
that's really funny.
And so James Gunn thought that was hilarious, and that's why I put it in the film.
I know James Gunn was out down to the last minute questioning his killing of Yondu, and he's like, ultimately, he's like, I had to just go with it because he's like, I didn't want to kill that character after how awesome he is, but I had to stay true, like stick to my guns, and my first gut instinct was to kill him, and so I stuck with it. So he was like, well, I didn't use the word guns, I just used that, but he that was paraphrasing there, but he basically stuck it out and ended up killing him, even though he was questioning it, even down to the shooting. I
think it would have been pretty cliche if he survived, actually.
Yeah. Well, he did write it. He did write an ending with him surviving, and they scrapped it because he's like, it just you have to do it this way. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be stakes.
If he had lived this movie, I would have expected him to die in the next movie, because I mean, kind of Yondu, even though he didn't know it, he completed his own arc because he got redeemed by the original Guardian.
It's such a great character, though. Like
Star something.
Such an awesome character. I know he did finish his arc, but his character's so awesome.
Right, and that's one thing that I really wanted to mention before we close this up. But like when Sylvester Stallone's character was telling him like, "You'll never, be buried with, the symbol
Ravager funeral or whatever."
Right, exactly. Like you could tell that really hurt Yondu because it's weird because you think of Yondu as this asshole pirate, scoundrel kind of guy, and he cares about honor and being recognized and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, okay, and you're seeing like another layer of that character. So I thought that was really awesome. Obviously, coming
that scene was, I thought Sylvester Stallone pulled it off with that moment too. That was a great moment for them. So.
Yeah, just seeing the soldier salute with all of them.
It played out well in the end with the funeral and everything.
Yeah, not it.
And apparently, I don't know where I read this, but I read that apparently all those characters in that group, whatever they are, the Star, whatever,
the original Guardians of the Galaxy,
original Guardians. Apparently, they weren't all like fully united, and Yondu's death is spurring them to form that group again. So I thought that was kind of cool, and hopefully that plays a part in Guardians Volume 3.
I wish they made that a little clearer in the actual movie.
Yeah, we had what did you guys think of the Howard Duck cameo? Howard the Duck.
All right.
Once you go duck, you
yeah, something like that. Once you go duck, you don't go back. But
it was quick enough. It was funny, but not.
James Gunn. Yeah. Anyways, then we had the post-credit sequences with Adam Warlock.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but apparently people talk about him all the time on the internet.
That is so. Infinity War, the comic book, he is the major character in that. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in the movie. So,
but he could be in the second movie.
Maybe, but he is the major player.
Do?
Actually, Corey, Stan Lee just mentioned there's going to be a major new character that we haven't seen on screen yet in Infinity War.
Okay.
So it's possible.
It's not Adam Warlock because they've already said he's not in the movie.
Yeah, they also said Yondu was in that movie.
They also, people lie.
Flashbacks.
No, he's not. They just said they put that in there as a ploy because people were like, "Why isn't he in this movie? Is he going to die?" So they said he was in that movie, and they even brought him to the set and shot him wearing an Infinity War hat. Just to throw people off the Yep. So they did all of that to cover that up. So
so that was the biggest kind of reveal as far as comic book nerds for these post-credit scenes. Adam Warlock is probably the most powerful character in Marvel Comics.
Really?
I think
another one.
Those
as far as
Omega mutants.
He handles the Infinity Gauntlet. He gets that.
So he's like Thanos level.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's genetically modified to be the perfect being by the perfect beings. So it's like, it's their next evolution. And in the comics, he's a pretty big player in that storyline, the Infinity War. So It's going to be interesting to see how they modify that, and especially now that they're introducing this character officially, it's going to be big because he's going to play a big part in Volume 3, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Closing thoughts, guys.
What about the Groot scene?
Now I know what Yondu feels
the teenage Groot. Oh God, that was great. I almost forgot about that one.
I was like,
I'm not boring.
Yeah. There was
just goes to show you,
there was a lot of father-son tropes in this. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right. So overall, guys, impressions. I said I really like this movie. I don't know if it was as good as the first one, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Give it an 8. That's my impression. Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as watchable as the first one is. I mean, the first one is de facto perfect popcorn flick, and just leave that on. You can watch in the background while you're doing whatever. Like, I like to put things on if I'm like cleaning my apartment or something like that. But the second one, not as watchable, but the moments it has, I think, are better than the moments in the first one. So, overall, little not as good as the first one, but just a hair. So I'd probably give it, like, with you, like 8.5, maybe, if I'm really feeling it. I do want to watch it again, so maybe we'll see, but around there.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that a little bit, Tony, I do agree that there are some highs in this movie that are higher than the first one, and I agree that the first one is a better film overall. But as far as the themes that they touch on and the emotional impact that some of these scenes have, really struck a chord for me, and I would be right there. It's definitely an 8, solid 8.
Yeah, I think so. Mike?
Yeah, I think it's about an 8 for me. It definitely had more. It was just as funny and had more emotion. It's just I sort of felt the bigger disconnect with the tone than the first movie, which brings it down a bit. Okay. But still an 8.
An 8, yeah.
Still just, it's just fun.
All on the same page. All right, so I think that's going to wrap up. Yeah, I think it's going to wrap up our bonus round of Spoilercast of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Thank you for tuning in, listeners and viewers. If you don't know already, you can watch us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also write to us emails at podcast@allyoucangeek.net and follow us on Twitter as well. And tune into our regular stuff. We have MovieCast, Gamecast. If you're just finding this out, we have them weekly, so tune in there. And thanks for listening, and thanks for viewing. See you next week.